Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Tuesday, and I hope that you guys are all getting prepared for the Chaos of Oz event that is going to be starting tomorrow alongside these pop-ups. No, but also alongside the Cowardly Lion Fusion event, which is going to be starting tomorrow. And I had some thoughts about this, and maybe this was over the last, especially from last month as well. I really thought about like, are we ever going to be able to switch our fusion tokens or want to do that? Because I know this is something that maybe has been brought up before, but I had this thought again because, hypothetically, you could change that out and not do the Cowardly Lion, but, his kit looks really good anyways. I feel like they're going to keep throwing characters at us either that we don't want to swap out for, or they're making us think that we need it because of the champion proving grounds. That's something else that I've spoke about in other videos. We're going to take a look at the patch breakdown that's going to be coming out tomorrow as well. But before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, get out from under the rock, download and use the QR code, get King Galkabar absolutely free, Venomage, Tagore, and Farrakhan the Fat. Don't forget about your pal Pelops the Victor, and all you got to do is use the promo code SUPERVICTORY within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so update highlights for 11.71. Echoes of Oz. I said Chaos of Oz. My bad. Sorry, guys. There was a Chaos Awakes. That's why I got confused. So obviously this starts tomorrow. Let's too much zoom. Okay, so we have the event dungeon, right? So it's going to be a Zelda, right? And it's going to be chronophage gear that we're fighting for. Now, I guess it's okay. I don't know. Are people still using chronophage a lot? Like, it obviously, if you're looking to build a 3-piece accessory set for extra speed, I don't really use the 6-piece or 9-piece variant of chronophage really, and like I don't know, that was not really, but I guess even for pinpoint, I was only ever using the accessories for that too. I never really used pinpoint gear, actual gear, artifact gear. But it is what it is, and it's extra accessory 9-piece set items that might be helpful for a lot of players if you're not getting a lot of the other stuff, such as Mercurial, Merciless, Protection, and whatnot. Of course, we have the Dorothy chase starting tomorrow as well. So I guess by this time or next Wednesday, or even today, maybe, I guess, depending on how the day's set up, because you log in for one, and you will get Dorothy by the end of by next week. So that's good as well. And she does look really good. Like, honestly, and for a lot of new players as well, she's going to be very, very helpful. So as far as the champions go, they look pretty nice. I do want to talk about 2 specific ones that I haven't had a chance to take a look at and speak about here on the channel, and that's the Tin Man and Scarecrow. So we'll talk about that as well. But we've already talked about Dorothy, and we talked about the Lion as well, and also Azilda, which is definitely more PvP based. Anyways, so I do want to skip ahead. We've already talked about Azilda. We've talked about the Cowardly Lion, who looks really, really great, and honestly looks great for Hydra as well. I think actually a lot of the Oz characters are going to have a lot of place in Hydra teams if you need some more characters for that. Because I really love this whenever a fear or true fear is placed on this champion, which happens like all the goddamn time on Hydra with that one head, right? Remove all debuffs from his champion and reset all cooldowns. Like, this is going to trigger it does have a cooldown, however, so you can't constantly trigger, but nonetheless, this is going to be really great for Hydra. So I do really like that. The Tin Woodman. So I brought it up here, the Tin Woodman. Let's talk about this a bit, because I'm particularly interested in the passive. So I want to kind of just dive in here first. Decrease the damage all allies receive by 15%. Great. 30% for the Oz characters, but it also includes himself, the Tin Woodman. Now, I guess this is if you have a second Tin Woodman, and I do want to talk about this because it doesn't say that it doesn't stack, or it doesn't say you can't have 2, right? This champion receives that damage instead. Okay, so let's just say you have a full team of Oz characters. So he's going to absorb 30% of the damage, or decrease the damage of 30% by Dorothy, other Tin Woodman, Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. Okay, what if you have a second Tin Woodman? Then the 2 of them are going to reduce 60% damage from Dorothy, Scarecrow, and Cowardly Lion. What happens on the interaction with... It seems to be circular. Do you guys... this is where my headache is happening, because A second Tin Woodman is going to absorb 30% from Tin Man 1. I'm just calling him Tin Man. Let's call him Tin Man 1. Tin Man 1, Tin Man 2. And they're going to be absorbing each other's damage. What happens first, right? Is it absorbing 30% of the total that he's absorbing from all the other characters? Like, how does that look? That's what I'm curious about, right? This could be pretty OP, potentially. Also, the stacking of the absorbing like 60% from Dorothy and Scarecrow and Cowardly Lion, like that, basically they take like almost no damage. If the damage received in this way exceeds 50% of his HP, then you place a Revive on Death buff on this champion for 2 turns. Now, if it kills him, I guess it kind of skips this, right? So he has to survive. Maybe run someone who has Unkillable. That might be nice. If the damage received exceeds 50%, activates the Hewing Axe, which I believe is his A2, against the enemy with the lowest HP. This could be really interesting, again, if you have 2 of them. If there's multiple, okay, only one will activate for this part. But it doesn't say that the rest doesn't trigger, right? The skill will not activate on duplicate copies. Okay, so that's fine. Only one of these attacks, but it doesn't say about the rest of it. Whenever this champion receives damage via the skill, his defense goes up by 10%, up to 100%. Again, could be really great in PvE as well. Like any boss stuff, clan boss stuff, right? It's going to increase his defense by up to 100%. That is insane because his damage is based on that. Now his A3, we're going backwards. So he doesn't AoE, but then he places crit damage and shatter AoE on the team, which is great, right? That's more damage. Shatter is ignore defense, crit damage, great. Ignores 5% of each target's defense for each buff on him. So if you stack more buffs, more ignore defense. So this is huge as well. And then if he kills this, I guess this is more like maybe wave content, but you get a Revive on Death buff. Anyways, okay, cool. A2, attacks one enemy, inflicts 10% more damage, and ignores 10% defense for every... So you want to stack buffs. Have Scarecrow does buffs as well, but if you have another really great support character that could do like 3 buffs or more, that would be really amazing as well. And then direct all other allies to team up and attack the same target. The allies joining the attack will use their default. This is great. He looks really good. Increase the damage inflicted by allies teaming up and their ignore defense by 5% or 10% if it's the Oz characters for each buff on this champion. So this is going to hit really, really hard. And also it resets his A3 if they kill anyone with it. I want 2 Tin Man. I want to see what this looks like. And then he heals himself, I guess, on his A1. So nothing big here on the A1. But boy, those A2 and A3 in the passive is just looks really hot, honestly. The Scarecrow, okay, let's talk about him a bit. Let's start with the passive as well. So whenever this champion is killed, revives him with 50% HP and turn meter, then removes all debuffs from all allies. That's kind of cool. Champion is immune to Fear, True Fear, Provoke, and Petrification if any ally, including himself, has been killed at least once during the battle. So there is a mechanic as well for Dorothy about her dying. So I guess you almost want somebody to die. He does have a revive mechanic. It's a single revive. It places a block damage buff on that ally. So he can bring someone back to life to trigger this. So it's almost like you want one person to die. Because this is pretty big, right? Again, for like Hydra purposes, things like that, Fear, True Fear, and whatnot, this is pretty nice. Fortify buff on all allies for 25%, for 2 turns, sorry, fortify 25%. So this is pretty nice as well. And also we have an increased resistance 50%. Now I did a video yesterday talking about how you can cheese a lot of PvE content with increased resistance buffs. So this is always nice to have. And increase accuracy buff as well. And decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 1. Sadly not 2, because Donatello from last year was 2. And I feel like he was the best fusion of 2025. But that's just me. Anyways, this is not about TMNT. Still pretty nice anyways. Decrease of cooldowns of 1 on a cooldown of 3. It's still pretty nice, right? And then a 2-hit A1 that can decrease resistance and also decrease accuracy. That is pretty nice as well, right? So the combination of decreased accuracy and also the increased resistance buff, that is insane, okay? So getting those 2 combos, this character is going to be very good, even standalone as PvE support for that combo of decreased accuracy and increased resistance for that cheesing that I was telling you about in my video yesterday if you watched this. So pretty happy about that. These 2 characters look great. Tin Man looks great. I want a second copy of Tin Man. I want to see how that works. unless it's proven, I guess, that it doesn't work the way that I'm suggesting, where hypothetically, let's say you had 3 Tin Woodmen. Would that like basically mean that Dorothy and somebody else just takes like no damage? I'm curious. Now, we're going to skip through this part here. There is obviously an epic that's coming alongside the hybrid fusion for Cowardly Lion. This is another Argonauts champion, Void Epic. So this is kind of important as well. HP base, let's see what she does. A1, regular attack, heals, 10% heals other allies for, okay, max HP, fine. A2 AoE with a weaken debuff and a shield buff on all allies based on her HP, okay. On a cooldown of 3. We have a single target, A3. Before attacking, transfer all poison HP burn debuffs, as well as 1 random debuff from all allies to this champion. Okay. Will not transfer the transfers all. Okay. So it's taking basically debuffs from every and all. So this might be good for like Nether Spider, but again, unless you get an extra copy, you're definitely using this for the fusion. So sadly, I don't know if any of us are really going to get an extra copy of this character. Anyways, also you can't use Argonauts currently in Cursed City. So that's kind of shit. So I wonder if that's ever going to get fixed, because that's something I would like to see, because I don't know why that's not a thing, honestly, if you ask me. And then we have the passive Let Them Suffer, 25% chance to reflect any poison and HP burn debuffs placed on this champion back to the attacker. So this, it's only 25%. If this champion's under shield, but it increases to 50%. Okay, so this could be relevant to Nether Spider Doom Tower. But I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't use them in Cursed City, which is a shame. So not a whole lot of value unless they open up Argonauts to Cursed City. Otherwise, it would just be like Doom Tower. I don't see where else you'd really need that. But otherwise, I'm super excited. Like I said, oh my god, Scarecrow, Tin Man. I want 2 Tin Man. I want 2 of them. I'm gonna like try. Like if there's a Prism Shard pull, I am gonna do it. Any progressives for Tin Man, I'm probably gonna do it. Now, very like 95% the Oz characters, the 3 Oz characters outside of Dorothy, will probably have a guaranteed event. Those are things that you should be thinking about and saving, which is why I made those videos the other day about saving up all of your stuff for the Oz events, whether it's shards, soul stones for Deck of Fates, these kinds of things that you're going to want to hoard until these guaranteed champion events that are going to be coming around in the not so distant future. But I am curious what you guys are thinking. Are you excited for Oz that is going to be kickstarting tomorrow? I definitely am, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the content and all of the pulls and summons over the next little while with you guys as well. Now, before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, get out from under that rock. Get King Galkabar, get Venomage, get Tagore, get Farrakhan the Fat. These are the best epics for a brand new account. Also, with Oz coming, this is the best time to start a new account. Also, don't forget about Pelops the Victor. Use the promo code SUPERVICTORY in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, guys, that's it for me for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Oz. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.